trusting the unknown. How's that feel? It's kind of hard right now, right? We value certainty and control. And as soon as As soon as I wrote that, my mind went to something I often tell my children. In the military, I was always taught and taught others, you can tell me what to do or how to do it, but not both. My children now parrot that back to me. Don't you love that? But we find ourselves constantly searching for stability, security, and clear answers. Are any of those things possible right now? There is so much that is outside of our control. Life, with all of its complexities and surprises, doesn't often provide these things. As you've maybe heard, or perhaps now you'll hear me say ad infinitum, life is super lifey right now for many of us. So as a minister, as a clergy person, my responsibility is to not be a Pollyanna-ish, but to point to the beacon on the hill of what is possible. So I ask, what if, instead of resisting the unknown, we find ways to welcome it? What if, in embracing uncertainty, we could discover more transformation and growth? As Unitarian Universalists, we are guided by values and covenants, a vow of the heart, and principles that encourage us to be open to new experiences, to search for new wisdom, to honor diversity, and truly be open to transformation. A beloved sent me an email this week and said, "Thank you for holding up the mirror so I could see myself better." Out of discomfort. It's in this messiness of life that we most find the profound lessons that unfold moment by moment. The wisdom of Robin Wall Kimmerer, an Indigenous author whose words offer us deep insight right now into how we might embrace the unknown. Her book, Braiding Sweetgrass, how many folks have read it? Yes, I got big hands up over here. Braiding Sweetgrass. She teaches us to understand the unknown not as a place of fear, but as space for deep learning and growth. She writes, the more we learn, the more we realize how much we don't know. And that's the point. There's always something beyond what we can see. Kimmerer's words invite us to embrace the unknown with humility and openness, recognizing that wisdom is often found in the uncharted spaces of life. As we lean into the mystery of uncertainty, we find that it is fertile ground for wisdom, growth, and justice. For many of us, the unknown is not just an intellectual concept, but it's a lived reality. Those who are marginalized by systems of oppression, whether because of race, gender, sexuality, or other identities, we often face uncertainty in ways that are shaped by trauma, by fear, and oppression. So when we embrace the unknown, we must do so with compassion and an awareness of how this uncertainty is experienced differently across communities. In doing so, we foster solidarity and work towards a future where justice can emerge. Do you feel that? Yes. It takes all of us. In a world today filled with uncertainty, particularly in this political and social climate, we are experiencing deep divisions. Systems that are designed to fracture communities, and harm that is caused by forces of great privilege and power. So I ask with all humility, how can we trust in a world that feels so unstable and unjust? I don't know for sure. Did you come here for me to offer certainty? Thank you. But I will share something that has helped me, the idea of the messy middle. The messy middle, this radical perspective on the unknown offered by my colleague and friend, the Reverend Molly Hausch-Gordon, at Columbia UU in Missouri. In her sermon on MLK Sunday, she spoke of the moral arc's messy middle. Now you got it? Reminding us that the moral arc of the universe is not a steady march towards justice. That's not how that works. She said that the truth is that we cannot and will not have clear or certain answers before we are compelled to act. We cannot see that long end of the arc. We must commit ourselves to its bending before it has bent. And perhaps some of you remember that my colleague, Reverend Abi at Cedar Lane, said, we gotta bounce out in that arc right now. The journey towards justice is messy, uncertain, and often full of setbacks, risks, and uncomfortable relationships. King himself said to passively accept an unjust system is to cooperate with it. Failing to act is to choose the side of privilege and power. In this moment of uncertainty, we are called to take action. And I felt the room say like, but I can't do that. There are many different ways to act. It's not just those who are marching downtown, downstairs. It is not just those who are showing up at the metro and singing for our federal beloveds. Did you see All Souls UU doing that? It's amazing. It's not just organizing. It's also showing up. It's also offering a meal. It's also calling, please call your representatives. And especially encourage friends and family members and beloveds who live in red states to call their representatives. That is an apolitical message. It is called political engagement. In this moment of uncertainty, we are called to take action, however big or small, even without clear answers, trusting that by engaging with the unknown, what is possible, we contribute to bending the arc towards justice. This is the essence of trust. It requires courage, faith, and a willingness to move towards even when the path is unclear. We see this principle of community action and transformation reflected in real-world efforts. I know we can name many, but I will name one that was here yesterday for the Rent Stabilization Coalition meeting that happened here in this room with almost 100 people. We hosted the Rent Stabilization Coalition Community Forum, where neighbors, local leaders like Council Member Isola Shaw, Council Member Juando, and others, where neighbors, residents shared stories of how they have come together to build power in the face of uncertainty. You know, last year, there were votes against rent stabilization, creating a stark divide between neighboring communities in Montgomery County. In the face of this division, residents are coming together with our support, organizing, raising awareness, and pushing for policies that protect vulnerable residents of our city. This may be small, and it is also huge for families, for communities, and generations. We are embodying the power of community in these times of uncertainty, showing through collective action. We're showing that change is possible, even in a divided world. In moments like these, we see that real transformation happens not by waiting for perfect conditions. Did I mention we don't do perfection here? We do messy really well, though. But by acting with courage and building community, supporting one another, and so much grace. How many folks have heard me say, grace abounds, grace abounds, grace abounds? Have we needed that grace? Oh, yes. Have we extended that grace? Oh, yes. For that moral arc of the universe is bending towards justice and equity, inclusion and diversity. Say all of those words each and every time through your love and presence. So how do we trust the unknown and move forward? I tried to come up with a fun acronym, but it's MRGC. Can someone come up with a fun word for that? Mr. GC. Thank you. There you go. It should be like mix, though, right? MRGC. Mindfulness. First, by being present to this moment. I like to say, this is my sphere of influence. This is literally all that I control. See that? Being present to the moment, embracing this moment and life just as it is. For the moment, releasing fear and trust that we don't need all the answers, just the courage to be here now. Next, we cultivate resilience, MR. We cultivate resilience. We face challenges not by avoiding them, not by bending without breaking, knowing that growth comes from moving through the messiness of life. Adrienne Marie Brown reminds us, be like water and flow with the tides of change. G, we practice gratitude, shifting our focus from fear and a scarcity mindset to possibility. Even in uncertainty and brokenness, we can find blessings. Is there something you are grateful for right now in this moment? Food. Family. Children. Spring. Being here. Being loved. What else? Sunlight. Oh, blessed. Community. Art. Music. Singing. Our guest musicians. By practicing gratitude, we remember the abundance that is within and around us. And finally, we trust in community. MRGC. We trust in community. We are never alone. Part of right now, the overwhelm is intended to make us feel isolated, disempowered, and alone. You are not alone. We are not alone. Together, we will find strength and courage in facing this unknown as one. MRGC, mindfulness, resilience, gratitude, community. As we journey through the days and weeks ahead, let us remember that transformation happens not in perfect conditions. Let us release that. There's no such thing. Transformation happens in the unfolding, beautiful messiness of life. May we trust that love, justice, and hope can still emerge from the unknown. I apologize, I'm going to follow one spicy brain moment. A beloved to me said yesterday, history does not repeat itself, people do. I'm not just unleashed a whole torrent of thoughts. History does not repeat itself, people do. People choose how to act and react and show up and what to say and where their money goes and who they are in relationship with and what causes they support. People repeat history. History does not repeat itself. But that also gives me the reassurance and the power to proclaim that we can bounce on that arc until it bends. So together as a community, we can build what is possible. We can build what is possible. And we are grateful for this journey together. Amen, Ashe, and may it be so.